In 2005, deep in the heart of Hungary, one club was born with one goal: to rebuild the legacy of a legend. Puskas Academy, named after the great Ferenc Puskas himself, a man who defined Hungarian football on the world stage. Backed by an ambition and built on an idea of developing homegrown talent, the club rose quickly, from the lower leagues all the way to the top flight. They've had moments of triumph, being runners-up in the MB League, into cup finals, and also a taste of European football. But for all the promise, Hungarian football as a whole has struggled to reclaim its golden age. In FM26, that's where we come in. Our mission, not just to dominate Hungary, but to build the nation. Turn Puskas Academy into a powerhouse that raises the national game. Develop Hungarian talent, rebuild the country's reputation in Europe, and bring back glory where it all began, under the name of the greatest Hungarian of them all. This is FM26, and this is the Puskas Project. Good day everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this is a brand new Build a Nation series in Hungary with the Puskas Academy. I hope you like the intro. Let's go and dive straight into it. So, as I say, we are at the Puskas Academy in Hungary, the top flight, the MB League. Don't ask me to pronounce the actual league name. I've tried, I've attempted, I will try it. I will make a fool of myself. If you guys want me to, leave a comment down below if you want me to have an attempt at saying the league, because it's bloody hard. But that's by the by. I want to cover some of the targets that we have in mind for this series. So number one, basically, I want us to dominate Hungary. I want us to be the best team in Hungary and eradicate Ferencváros off their perch completely to make sure we are the number one club. Number two, consistency in the Champions League, i.e. we qualify for the Champions League every single season or as many times as possible. In the number three, we'll be winning the Champions League. Not an impossible task, it can be done. I did exactly the same in Build a Nation with Hajduk Split, not once but twice winning the Champions League in that one. At number four, I want to raise the country's profile and also the league profile. So as it stands at the moment, the national team is ranked 37th in the world and the league itself is ranked 25th in all Europe. And I want to get the league into the top 10, which again is quite easy to do, but it's the national team that I'm relying on. And obviously in FM26 we don't have control of the national teams, so I can't control that one, but I'm going to try my best to find the Hungarian talent that is going to propel the Hungarian team nationally and hopefully win a Euros or a World Cup. Who knows? We'll see what happens down the line. And finally, for the fifth and final one, I want to find a striker. I want to find the next Ferenc Puskas. I mean, that it's just poetic at the end of the day. I want to find a striker who's going to take up that mantle through our youth system and produce somebody like him who could over 700 goals, I think he scored in over 700 games. Ridiculous amount of goals and in a ridiculous amount of games. What a striker he was. But as I say, we are here at Puskas Academy and we're on the 1st of September, so let's go and have a look at the club itself. So if we're going to have a look at the club, we're going to have a look at the overview of it. So here we are, we're on the first division, is the national division. The club vision is to maintain the best youth system in the country, work within the wage budget, all that sort of stuff, and qualify for Europe. But it says the Conference League. I'm not having that. I'm not having that at all. We have about 4.5 million in the bank balance. That's not too bad. Again, the money will start coming in the more Champions Leagues we get into it, but that's not going to happen for the first few seasons because it's going to be very, very difficult. Facilities wise, we have the facilities down here. So we have an absolutely immaculate stadium, which I will leave up on screen for a second now. And we also have very good training facilities, great youth facilities, adequate academy coaching. I need to improve that. And a few other bits and pieces, but they are in a very, very good shape for this season and to go into the future. I mean, bearing in mind, the Pancho Arena itself is just short of 4,000 seats. If we're going to compete in the Champions League, hopefully more money will come in and that will get improved and expanded on. Squad-wise, though, the squad is pretty well stacked. As I say, it's the start of the season, and before I go into anything, our main striker, Lamine Coley, got injured, and he is out for at least 3 months. So I decided to pin in Andras Nemeth as our main striker up front, and I will go and show the tactics in a second. But as it stands at the moment, let's get this reorganised. I haven't brought anybody in. And I'll tell you for why. Because I didn't want to impede on the transfers that had already been made in the game. There wasn't an awful lot of money to spend either. There wasn't any money in the wage budget. So I thought, you know what, I'll just roll with it with what we have. But what we have is a very, very strong squad. Obviously, we're on the selection info here, but if we go to general info, we can see, and get this rearranged again, we can see like sort of the potential ability in some of the younger players. I'm ignoring the ones that are over 30 or nearly pushing 30, but there are a couple of players like Akos Markgraf, who plays at left back, is another player who I think could actually progress pretty well. Could play left back, could play left side as centre back. He's got good crossing, reasonable tackling, decent physicals. I think personally he would actually make a better centre back than a left back. But he's got a 4-star potential ability, so that's not too bad. Another one below him is Zolt Nagy. He's 32, so he's on the opposite end, so I'm ignoring him. Then you've got 19-year-old Michael Okeke, who is a Hungarian national. I have him out for loan, well, on the loan transfer list, so to speak, but I don't think I'm going to loan him out because he's started a few games off the bench. He just needs to improve his mentals more than anything else, so I think getting him more game time will be the main thing. He's a bit more of an attacking midfielder, so a bit more of a creator, I would say. And then there is another player here, another deep line playmaker who could play a little bit further back, Martin Kern, who actually, I think this one, he could go on to be something quite special. A 4-star potential ability, given him game time. He's already got really good technicals for this league. A lot of double figures where you need them to be for a DLP. Great mentals already at the age of 19. Physicals need a little bit of work on it. I'm a little bit concerned about the strength and stamina, but if we can get them up a little bit, I think he could turn into a fairly decent player. Then when you come back off Kern, there's a couple of others, like I say, Andras Nemeth and Kirilo Yanitsky, who's a Ukrainian that's come through their side. But Andras Nemeth, I think, is another player. At the age of 22, he needs the game time now. Lamine Coley, even though he got injured, he's 32. I want to use as many of the youth players, the talented youth players, to propel this squad on, and that's exactly what I have done. That's why I've put him in. Yes, okay, he's got 10 finishing, but he's got the composure there. He's progressing on off the ball and anticipation. He's got the physicals. He's got the technique. A bit more game time. I think this guy could really rapidly improve. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And to start off with, as well, if I go to the selection info and go down, 3 goals in 3 games, which ain't too bad at all. That's not too bad at all. Now, tactically wise, this is what I'm going with. This is what it looks like combined, but in possession, 4-2-3-1. I'm a gegenpressing guy. That is what I like. Don't shoot me for it. Fast-paced football, quick, moving up. That's exactly what I want. So, and that's exactly what we're going to get here. So 4-2-3-1, positive mentality, inverted wingers, wing backs, ball playing defender, all the good stuff. Out of possession, 4-2-3-1, but just with the wingers dropping back. So when you have a look at both of them, that's what it looks like side by side. But when you combine it, just means the wingers are dropping back a little bit to help the wing backs out. And I think that's proven pretty solid when we have a look at our fixture list. Now, fixtures, this is how many games I've had to play this season already. Okay, we had the friendlies right here, and I still can't figure out how to just select certain fixtures on here. I really don't know where it is. Can't find it. Anybody in the comments want to let me know down below how you sort out the fixtures into just so I can see the Conference League ones only? Let me know, because I can't see it. And this is even after the patch. But to start off with, we had our qualifications for the Conference League. So we got past Hapoel Beersheva. Then we got past Austria Vienna. Then we got past Midtjylland for the Conference League. And then we qualified. And you know what? Conference League football for this season, where we got Policia, AEK, Rakow and Lech, Ligue and Paphos. Okay, I think we could pick up a few points there. I'm wondering if we could actually get through to the next round, which would actually be really good progress for a club this size. To get into like a knockout round or the round of 16 for a European competition, that'd be pretty decent. But the first division started off pretty well as well. We had a nice 2-1 win to start off the season against Győr. Then we drew against Újpest, and then we beat Pax. We beat Kisvárda 3-1. Then our main rivals, Ferencváros, we beat 2-1 away from home. And then we beat Kazanbarika. God, some of these names are going to be tough. We beat them 5-2, and that's when we roll into September, where we've only got 2 games, weirdly enough. But if we actually have a look at the first division as well, and we have a look at the past winners, I'll show you. Past winners-wise, Ferencváros have won it 7 seasons on a bounce, and they've won it 8 times in the last 10 years. So these are the guys, and Puskas Academy have been runners-up twice in the last 5 years. So now is the time to dethrone Ferencváros off their perch to make sure we are number 1 in this country. And I think we're fairly close to doing that already, so it may give us a little bit of a leg up. Yes, financially wise as well, as I said before, transfers, if we have a look at the budgets, I got 1.3 million in the budget there. I've only got about 6 grand left, so I thought there's no point. I've got a big squad as it is. That's exactly what I need. And there we have it, guys. We are ready to roll into our first season highlights. How will we get on? Will we progress in the Conference League, or will we make a fool of ourselves? Who knows? Let's go and find out, shall we? After our immense start to the season, that good form continued, with wins like a 2-1 versus ZTE and a 2-0 versus Debrecen. That was until mid-November, when we lost 3-2 to Kisvárda. As the league season went on though, with more wins like a 4-0 against Kisvárda, a 3-0 versus Diószegő, and a 5-0 versus Pax, fate was on our side as we secured our first ever league title. In Hungarian Cup, I was hopeful of a double. After early wins, we faced former powerhouses Honvéd in the quarterfinals, and we just about squeezed past them on penalties, only to have our journey ended in the semi-finals 1-0 by Diószegő. In the Conference League, we scraped into the knockouts to face Ligue, who battered us 5-1 in the first leg, only to get the same treatment at the Pancho Arena as we beat them 6-1 to go into the round of 16. But sadly, that's where it ended, as Omonia were too much for us and they comfortably knocked us out 4-1 on aggregate. Come on! Puskas Academy are, for the first time ever in their history, League Champions of Hungary. Get in, that's a great start. That is a truly great start. So let's go and have a little look at the competitions, if it will let me click on it. No, I'm guessing it's not. There are still bugs left, right and centre on this game. Let's have it right. Okay, here we go. Division 1. Right, so here we go. Obviously, I did say at the start of the video that the club was only formed in 2008, so this is literally their first ever league title. They were formed last time. When they were formed when Debrecen won the league back in 2008. So the first ever league title for them, and we won it at quite a canter. I did forget to say before as well what the league rules were, and the league rules are actually pretty simple. It doesn't split down into any groups or anything like that. It's very much like the Scottish Premier League, but where they just play each other 3 times. So you get 33 games, you play each other 3 times, and in the end we won quite comfortably, even though we threw it away a little bit at the end. We lost and won and drew 2 towards the end of the season, but it still meant we only lost 4 games all season and won the league by 10 points. Can't say better than that. Really, really good. If we have a look at the stats, let's have a look at the players. Player stats. So, the top players, average rating wise, Palko Dardai and Quintin Maceras are there. You got Moshi Semel, Stronati is in there as well, and Nagy and Fameya are in there as well. If we have a look at attacking wise and goals, actually surprising. Well, Nemeth came in there with 14 goals in 29 appearances, so that's 1 goal every 2 games. For a player who got sort of thrown in there by me to see if he could do well and get some game time, I'm quite happy with that. That's not too bad. I mean, joint 6th highest goal scorer. It's not setting the world alight, but it's not too bad at all. Obviously, on the other competition side of things, the Conference League, we got knocked out in the round of 16 by Omnia Nicosia. But if we have a look at the round and the league phase, we didn't do too bad. We got a couple of wins. We ended up finishing 16th, which isn't too bad, which meant knockout round, and then we did amazingly well against Ligue, to be fair, to get past them. I mean, that's a hell of a match to get through after getting humped in the first leg. And then to get to the round of 16, where Omnia, yeah, they basically taught us a lesson. And even if we got to the next one, yeah, Vallecano would have punished us. We're not quite there yet. to compete for it. But it does mean winning the league title that we have qualified for the Champions League qualifiers next season. And if we don't make it through them, then we've got the Europa League. And if we don't make it through them, we've got the Conference League. So fingers crossed, if I've worked this out right, we do have some sort of European football guaranteed for next season, regardless. And then obviously also in the other competition, it was the Hungarian Cup. And we got knocked out by Diószgyőr. Again, I'm not entirely sure whether I pronounced that right. Who beat us in the semi-finals, and they won it on penalties in a really boring cup final. But squad-wise, not too bad. 23 goals in total from Nemeth. Let's have a quick look, see if he's developed. Okay, the arrows are going down. I don't like the look of that, but his off the ball has gone up. That has definitely gone up. His technique hasn't been touched, but overall, it's hard to tell. I think I'll be able to tell a little bit more next season once I've had a look at the training side of things. Moshi Semmel with 18 and 12. 18 and 18 from Palko Dardai. That's a great return. Joel Famea, who's got 16 and 8. 10 assists from Zolt Nagy. 12 from Maseras. Some really good output from the main players of the squad. The only problem we got is if we go to general info and I go by age, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players that are 29 or above. This is going to take some doing. I know I've got players in my second team. I know I've got players in my under-19s. I did pick up a couple of players in my under-19s that, for me, were outstanding pickups through our youth development. You look at these here, 5-star potential. I mean, there is Gabor Kovac, who is a natural striker already. He's incredibly good mentally at the age of 16. Really good technicals at the age of 16. And good physicals, at the age of 16. But he's bloody Romanian. I want a Hungarian. I don't want a Romanian, but I still signed him anyway because, you know, he could actually turn into something. I think it has 5-star potential, a 2-star current ability already for this league. There is every possibility that he could be promoted to the first team next season. I could start him because he is that good. And if we have a look at his personal and have a look at his nationalities, there we go. Primary nationality, Romanian. Secondary nationality is Hungarian. And obviously he does have the name Gabor Kovac, which is Hungarian. So does that count as a Puskas find or not? Let me know down below if you've made it this far. Let me know down below whether this counts or not. There are obviously other players like Mezaros, who is an attacking midfielder. Again, rated a 5-star potential. That one I'm not entirely convinced on. I think that's neither here nor there. Zilvasi. Zilvasi is another one, 5-star potential, attacking midfielder with 1 strength, so literally a gust of wind will blow him over. I'm not entirely convinced on that one either. And then you got Christian Moldovan, who's a keeper. Keepers are rare to find in Regens, but he does have some very, very good attributes already. A good command of the area. He's a little bit eccentric. He's got good kicking, good reflexes, and very agile. So again, this one could prove to be a very good find in our youth setup. And obviously, I'm not going to be signing anybody for the next gen list just yet because it's all the big star players, and there's no way they're going to come to our club. And then finally, I think Christoph Kokani. This one, actually, yeah, I think he is probably closer to that 4 or 5-star ability. Look at him, he's only 15 years old, but he's nearly 6 foot already. He's got great aggression, good marking, tackling, and heading. That's exactly what you want. Good positioning already, and brave. So again, this is another one that could see himself into the first team squad sooner rather than later. So next we go on to the transfer window. I've got 4 million to spend and 20k in the wage budget. But looking at the players that are available to me, I think I can pick up a few stars here and there to tide us over whilst I bring those youth players through. There's a couple of South American players here that could prove to be very useful to the club. But with that wage budget, I'm going to have to tweak that, I think, more than anything else. And also the fact that a lot of my players are, again, just as a quick reminder, a lot of my players in the first team are very old, and a lot of them will have to move on. There's a lot of the older players, actually, when you look at it, £7.5 a week, £7 a week, £5 a week. There's a few of these players that could end up moving on because they're taking up big chunk of the wage budget, and I need to start bringing through some younger talent if I can. And there we have it, guys. That is the end of the first episode. We have successfully gained the first ever league title for Puskas Akademia. We got to the round of 16 in Europe, the Conference League, and a semi-final of the Cup. I'd say that's a pretty damn successful first season. Now the hard work starts, where I've got to find new talent, get rid of the old, bring in the new, and build this club and country back up to where it belongs. If you did enjoy this content, make sure you leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe to my channel, and keep an eye out for the other videos. I have an Aberdeen rebuild starting in a few days after this. I also have a shorts series coming back after the success of the Ajax one in FM24. I'm doing an FM26 Sunderland to Champions League winning save. That's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. And then, obviously, Puskas Akademia is going to continue on. Anybody who watched my Build a Nation with Hajduk Split will understand that this takes a little bit of time. Probably looking at anywhere between 12 to 15, 16 episodes on this one. So you're going to have to subscribe, you're going to have to hit that bell and like this video to make sure you stay up to date with the content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-ra.